Relationship expert in the name. Jacquee Kahn is here. She's been called the super nanny of dating for her very blunt but practical. I looked through this advice you have in this book. The book is called Girlfriend 911. And I was thumbing through it backstage, and the true test is what other women say. And the other women were back there going, that's so true, that's right, that's a lot of positive feedback on it. So where does the idea come from to write a book about emergency? Like, how do you cut your losses and get out?
Personal experience, unfortunately. You know, I've had my heart broken. I was involved in what I call a situation for 5 years where...
What does situation mean?
It's not a relationship.
And when you say that, people instantly know what you mean, right? We get that. It means if your girlfriends say where it's going, you go, I don't know.
It's, for right now, it's a situation, but I'm hoping, you know, hope against hope that it would be a relationship. And we were best friends. We had this insane chemistry. We spent a lot of time together, and I just kept hoping against hope it would go in the direction of, you know, the long-term committed relationship. And
Why do you think hope against hope? Why do you think we wait so long?
Well, in my situation, it was total mixed signals. Something I call opposite day, by the way. It's like when you say one thing and your actions are completely different. So he was saying something, but what he was doing was completely different. And so it was,
That's called being a guy.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so you know, I did this for sort of 5 years, and kept thinking to myself, it would change. It would it would change. It will be different. And I just kept getting into a worse place.
Okay, so that's very common. I mean, everybody here is either knows somebody or they've been that person. So what's the impetus for the book? What's the day when you realize, man, I think I know how to help other people with this?
Well, that took a long time, but basically in my own situation, I realized I couldn't do it anymore because it was just, I was downward spiraling, basically. And so in an attempt to get him out of my life once and for all, I just basically decided I was going to write what I now call a goodbye letter, which is state my truth, bare my soul. Just tell him exactly how I feel. I told him I want to marry you. And I thought,
wow,
this will get rid of him. Like, I will never hear from him again, right? And I will be free. That's what I thought.
And did it?
Well, it felt great for me. It was so empowering when I wrote it. And I just thought, you know what? I am done. That's it. And I'm moving on. And, like, there's nothing else. I've told him everything. There's nothing left to say. And then, sure enough, he reappeared like 3 months later.
Yeah.
It didn't scare him. I thought it would. And that's kind of the impetus. And that
but
was sort
are
of
you
my
married
program.
to him?
No, I'm not married to him.
Okay,
no,
so...
he married somebody else. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with it.
But so what's the lesson of the goodbye letter?
Well, okay, the lesson of the goodbye letter and the lesson of Girlfriend 911 is that you either are going to change your situation to have a healthy, long-term, happy relationship, or you're going to rid yourself of a toxic one. And what I did was I rid myself of a toxic relationship because it wasn't working.
One of the things I read in the book was you have to have standards. You have to decide, if that was kind of talking on it about the beginning of the show, about I have standards of the guys I'm going to meet. I'm not looking for a booty call. So how do you, is that something you're saying most women should decide, okay, here are some things, like what are your standards?
Okay, so let me just tell you, most women, when they get into these bad situations, lose power and control. That's it. They just lose it. And with that goes the standards. They have none.
Because you'll just take anything. Now you just want...
You're in love. You're so desperate to be with the guy, you'll take anything. Right. Okay, so the first thing that I do, because I work with women privately, I have private clients, and the first thing that I ask them when we start a session is, tell me your standards. And they look at me like, wait, what? Okay, well, are you okay going on a date with the guy, sleeping with him, and never hearing from him again? Are you okay with that? No? Okay, well, then that's one of your standards. Okay. Don't do that, because it's not going to end well.
And yet, you're surprised by how many women have actually not said to themselves, I will not do that. Even though they know they don't want to do it,
exactly,
they may find themselves doing it.
Exactly. And also, maybe some women have a few standards, and then they meet the guy, and the standards go out the window.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what a guy's counting on.
Right. Well, I don't know.
It is. I mean, in a sense, I don't mean all men, but in a sense, men are driven often by something else first, which is wanting to get physical and get together, and the woman is looking for the relationship. And
correct,
it's that I love what you say in here, because as a guy, I can tell you, if a woman says to me, like I said Lisa did, if a woman says, listen, this is what I want up front, I'm going to tell you, are you in or you're out? It makes me go home and go, okay, I'm not going to skate through this one. She's either saying, okay, I want in, and I know what I have to do, or I don't. And I'm glad you told me, and you know we're better off being friends. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming up, we have a woman who read Girlfriend 911. She wrote a goodbye letter that you talked about, and it changed her life for good. We'll be right back.
I actually have a client who went rogue and ended up going back with the guy, and her vagina closed. I kid you not.
Wow. Jacquee Kahn wrote a book. It's called Girlfriend 911, and it's really for any woman that's looking to take control of their dating life and not be passive in it. So, Lisa, you're here. You read this book. It inspired you to write a goodbye letter.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I was dating somebody with hope, like Jacquee said, hoping it would go on and that we would, move towards engagement and marriage. And it wasn't going that way. So I was lamenting to one of my friends, and she said, you have to read this book. It will change your life. And I ordered the book. I got it a few days later. I read it from cover to cover, and I said, okay, I'm going to write this letter to him. I'm going to tell him, what I want. And I wrote the letter, and I had found out right before I wrote the letter that he was seeing somebody else. So things were becoming pretty clear to me, but I was still hanging on. And I wrote the letter, and I closed that chapter.
And what does writing the letter do for you emotionally?
It states your purpose, and it allows you to close the chapter and allow new love in.
So you don't need closure from him. You just need closure for you.
I needed closure for me. I was hoping that he would write back, but at the same time, I knew that once I wrote that letter, it was done.
And then, as a result, you're basically saying to the universe, ready for something good.
Yes, I'm seriously ready this time. I'm not going to hang on. And that's when my future husband walked in the door, and I was open.
What was the timing? How long, Mark, or Lisa, how long did you meet Mark after you said goodbye?
Oh, a few weeks. Just
weeks.
a few weeks.
It's out there. Is
Yes.
the reason I was asking.
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
out
a few
there.
weeks, yeah.
Mark, when you meet this woman now, meet her again, did you sense a confidence in her?
Yes, definitely.
And that's because that's really part of what this gives you, right? She writes a goodbye letter, and then she's able for Mark to say, look, I know who I am.
Oh, it's so empowering, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so many women say to me, even if they never hear from the guy again, it's about getting in the driver's seat, taking control again of a situation where you feel completely out of control, and just feeling so empowered.
Well, congratulations to you two. And good work on you. Nice job. Congrats on the book.
Thanks so much.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Jacquee is going to answer a couple of questions from the audience who might be stuck. We'll be right back. All right, couple minutes left in the show. Jacquee Kahn, creator of Girlfriend 911, going to take a couple questions. I'm going to pop up. Chance, pop up here.
Hi.
What's your question for Jacquee?
What do you do if you write a goodbye letter and then you never hear from the guy again?
Clear sign, not meant to be. Nothing. I mean, that is, even though I don't believe in closure, because you have to find it within yourself, that for me would be, that's your sign. Like this guy.
Read a letter, because your point is the letter's what matters, not whether he writes back. If he doesn't come back, he's gone. But
exactly. It's about you. It's not about what he does. It's about you feeling better about yourself, you having self-respect, you having self-worth, you feeling empowered.
Read
That's what it's about. Okay.
That's an example of, this is an example
exactly.
of a closure.
This is just an example of a goodbye letter. I've done a lot of thinking lately in regards to my dating situation, and what I'm really looking for is a committed relationship. I realize our arrangement in the past has been casual, but I think you're a great guy, and I've had such fun hanging out with you that I'd like to take it to the next level. I understand if you're not on the same page, but I wanted to be clear about what I'm looking for. And this was a client of mine who was basically in a booty call situation and decided that that was not her standard and she deserved better.
That is a really classy way to say, I like you and I'm interested in more, and if you're not, it's okay. We can still be friends. There's no weirdness. Yeah,
Right.
That's a great example. Thanks for the question. One more. Pop up. I'm going to step in front of Yvette's mom.
What do I do if I'm tempted to contact the guy after the goodbye letter? Because that's my hardest part.
Then it didn't work.
Well, that's human nature, especially for women, because we're such emotional beings. And when we're connected to someone, it's very hard to sort of break the ties. So in my book, I have a whole section about pep talks, where I pretty much list all the times that I give women pep talks and what to do. And I also have something called an anger list, which is to write down all the things that he's done that have been disrespectful or haven't treated you right or something like that. And if you go back and look at that, it'll get you back into that, now I know why I'm doing this. And funny story, I actually have a client who went rogue. I have a section about that too. And ended up going back with the guy and was in a situation where they were basically about to sleep together, and her vagina closed. I kid you not.
Wow.
Yeah.
If that doesn't get you to read the book.
Right?
All right, to learn the rest of the steps in the Girlfriend 911 program, you can pick up a copy of Jackie Kahn's book on Amazon.com. Also check out her website. It is gf911.com. That's the show. Thanks for hanging. Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks, Deborah. It was so nice to meet you.